this. A couple people actually suggested this type of video in the comments. So here we are. I honestly wouldn't think that people would be too interested in this type of video. I don't know, so I don't know how well this is gonna do, but it sounds like fun, so we're gonna give it a go. So the suggestion was to just do a whispered reading of a book, and I immediately thought of this little Winnie the Pooh book that I got from Book Outlet a few months back. It's actually a little thicker than I was thinking it was. It's like a proper little chapter book, so I'm only going to read the first chapter. If you guys like this, maybe I can read the other chapters, but maybe no one will watch this. I don't know. We'll see. So this is a Puffin modern classic, Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne. This little Pooh. I freaking love Winnie the Pooh. I always have. I don't know what it is. I just love Winnie the Pooh. So this is, I think, the original story. So I've never read this before. So if you have not, this will be a first for both of us. The first page. Oh my gosh. So cute. It's a map of the 100-acre wood. Look at that. So cute. Love it. Okay. Winnie the Pooh. When was this written? 1926. Wow. 1926, 26. I'm pretty sure that was the first. Yeah, first published in Great Britain. Let's get comfy. To her. Hand in hand we come, Christopher Robin and I, to lay this book in your lap. Say you're surprised. Say you like it. Say it's just what you wanted. Because it's yours. Because we love you. That's really sweet. Oh, I really don't want the ring lights in my glasses, but ring light. I tried to put it off to the side. Oh well. Okay. Introduction. Okay, it's a little Pooh on a bath mat. Okay, let's get going. Introduction. If you happen to have read another book about Christopher Robin, you may remember that he once had a swan, or a swan had Christopher Robin, I don't know which, and that he used to call this swan Pooh. That was a long time ago, and when we said goodbye, we took the name with us, as we didn't think the swan would want it anymore. Well, when Edward Bear said that he would like an exciting name all to himself, Christopher Robin said at once, without stopping to think, that he was Winnie the Pooh. And he was. So, as I have explained the Pooh part, I will now explain the rest of it. whether twice 7 is 12 or 22. Sometimes he slips out and has a good look in the ink pot. And in this way, he has got more education than Pooh. But Pooh doesn't mind. Some have brains and some haven't, he says. And there it is. And now all the others are saying, what about us? So perhaps the best thing to do is to stop writing introductions and get on with the book. AAM. Okay. We have the contents. Okay. Winnie the Pooh. That looks maybe like Christopher Robin walking down the stairs with little Pooh stuffy. There are some pictures throughout, so I'll be sure to show you them. So here we go into the real heart of the story. So get cozy, get comfy, maybe we can read you to sleep. Okay, ready? Chapter 1, in which we are introduced to Winnie the Pooh and some bees, and the stories begin. Here is Edward Bear coming downstairs now, bump, 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 on the back of his head, behind Christopher Robin. It is, as far as he knows, the only way of coming downstairs, but sometimes he feels that there really is another way. If only he could stop bumping for a moment and think of it. And then he feels that perhaps there isn't. Anyhow, here he is at the bottom and ready to be introduced to you. Winnie the Pooh. When I first heard his name, I said, just as you were going to say, but I thought he was a boy. So did I, said Christopher Robin. Then you can't call him Winnie. I don't. But you said, he's Winnie the Pooh. The Pooh. Don't you know what there means? It's T-H-E-R. Interesting. Yes, now I do, I said quickly, and I hope you do too, because it is all the explanation you are going to get. Sometimes Winnie the Pooh likes a game of some sort when he comes downstairs, and sometimes he likes to sit quietly in front of the fire and listen to a story. This evening, what about a story? Said Christopher Robin. What about a story? I said. Could you very sweetly tell Winnie the Pooh one? I suppose I could, I said. What sort of stories does he like? About himself, because he's that sort of bear. Oh, I see. So could you very sweetly? I'll try, I said. So I tried. Once upon a time, a very long time ago now, about last Friday, Winnie the Pooh lived in a forest all by himself under the name of Sanders. What does under the name mean? Asked Christopher Robin. It means he had the name over the door in gold letters and lived under it. Winnie the Pooh wasn't quite sure, said Christopher Robin. Now I am, said a growly voice. Then I will go on, said I. Okay. It's a little picture of Winnie under the door. One day, when he was out walking, he came to an open place in the middle of the forest, and in the middle of this place was a large oak tree, and from the top of the tree there came a loud buzzing noise. Winnie the Pooh sat down at the foot of the tree, put his head between his paws, and began to think. First of all, he said to himself, that buzzing noise means something. You don't get a buzzing noise like that, just buzzing and buzzing without it meaning something. If there's a buzzing noise, somebody's making a buzzing noise. And the only reason for making a buzzing noise that I know of is because you're a bee. Then he thought another long time and said, and the only reason for being a bee that I know of is making honey. And then he got up and said, the only reason for making honey is so as I can eat it. So he began to climb the tree. He climbed and he climbed and he climbed, and as he climbed, he sang a little song to himself. It went like this. Isn't it funny how a bear likes honey? Buzz, buzz, buzz. I wonder why he does. So there's a picture of Pooh looking at the buzzy, buzzy bee. being so, if the bees were bears, we shouldn't have to climb up all these stairs. He was getting rather tired by this time, so that is why he sang a complaining song. He was nearly there now, and if he just stood on that branch, crack. Oh no, look. Pooh fell down. Fell down the broken branch. Oh, help, said Pooh as he dropped 10 feet on the branch below him. If only I hadn't, he said as he bounced 20 feet onto the next branch. You see what I meant to do, he explained as he turned head over heels and crashed onto another branch 30 feet below. What I meant to do. Of course, it was rather, he admitted as he slithered very quickly through the next 6 branches. It all comes, I suppose, he decided as he said goodbye to the last branch, spun round 3 times, and flew gracefully into a gorse bush. It all comes of liking honey so much. Oh, help. He crawled out of the gorse bush, brushed the prickles from his nose, and began to think again. And the first person he thought of was Christopher Robin. So there's Pooh coming out of the gorse bush. Okay, turn the page. Okay. Was that me? Said Christopher Robin in an odd voice, hardly daring to believe it. That was you. Christopher Robin said nothing, but his eyes got larger and larger, and his face got pinker and pinker. So, Winnie the Pooh went round to his friend Christopher Robin, who lived behind a green door in another part of the forest. Good morning, Christopher Robin, he said. Good morning, Winnie. There, Pooh, said you. So there is, I guess that's where Pooh is walking there. And then there is Pooh coming to Christopher Robin's little treehouse. It's pretty cute. I wonder if you got such a thing as a balloon about you. A balloon? Yes, I just said to myself coming along. I wonder if Christopher Robin has such a thing as a balloon about him. I just said it to myself, thinking of balloons and wondering. What do you want a balloon for? You said. Winnie the Pooh looked round to see that nobody was listening, put his paw to his mouth, and said in a deep whisper, Honey. But you don't get honey with balloons. I do, said Pooh. Well, it just happened that you had been to a party the day before at the house of your friend Piglet, and you had balloons at the party. You had had a big green balloon, and one of Rabbit's relations had had a big blue one, and had left it behind, being really too young to go to a party at all, and so you had brought the green one and the blue one home with you. Which one would you like? You asked Pooh. He put his head between his paws and thought very carefully. It's like this, he said. When you go after honey with the balloon, the great thing is not to let the bees know you're coming. Now, if you have a green balloon, they might think you are only part of the tree and not notice you. And if you have a blue balloon, they might think you're only part of the sky and not notice you. The question is, which is most likely? Wouldn't they notice you underneath the balloon? You asked. They might, or they might not, said Winnie the Pooh. You never can tell with bees. He thought for a moment and said, I shall try to look like a small black cloud. That will deceive them. Then you had better have the blue balloon, you said. And so it was decided. There is Christopher Robin with a balloon, and then there's Pooh. Not really sure what he's doing there. Kind of looks like he's rolling in mud or something. Okay. Well, you both went out with the blue balloon, and you took your gun with you, just in case, as you always did. Interesting. And Winnie the Pooh went to a very muddy place that he knew of, and rolled until he was black all over. And then, when the balloon was blown up as big, and you and Pooh were both holding onto the string, you let go suddenly, and Pooh Bear floated gracefully gracefully up into the sky and stayed there, level with the top of the tree and about 20 feet away from it. "Hooray," you shouted. "Isn't that fine?" shouted Winnie the Pooh down to you. "What do I look like?" "You look like a bear holding onto a balloon," you said. "Not," said Pooh anxiously, "not like a small black cloud in a blue sky. Not very much. Well, perhaps from up here it looks different, and as I say, you never can tell with bees." There was no wind to blow him nearer to the tree, so there he stayed. He could see the honey, he could smell the honey, but he couldn't quite reach the honey. After a little while, he called down to you. "Christopher Robin," he said in a loud whisper. "Hello. I think the bees suspect something." "What sort of thing?" "I don't know, but something tells me that they're suspicious. Perhaps they think that you're after their honey. It may be that. You never can tell with bees." There was another little silence, and then he called down to you again. "Christopher Robin." "Yes. Have you an umbrella in your house?" "I think so." "Wish you would bring it out here and walk up and down with it and look up at me every now and then and say, 'Tut tut, it looks like rain.'" Alright, so there is Pooh walking, making a mud trail, all covered in mud. And then there is Pooh hanging from his balloon, surrounded by buzzy bees. I think if you did that, it would help the deception which we are practicing on these bees. Well, you laughed to yourself, silly old bear, but you didn't say it aloud because you were so fond of him, and you went home for your umbrella. "Oh, there you are," called down Winnie the Pooh as soon as you got back to the tree. "I was beginning to get anxious. I've discovered that the bees are now definitely suspicious." "Shall I put my umbrella up?" you said. "Yes, but wait a minute. We must be practical. The important bee to deceive is the queen bee. Can you see which is the queen bee from down there?" "No." "A pity. Well now, if you walk up and down with your umbrella saying, 'Tut tut, it looks like rain,' I shall do what I can by singing a little cloud song, such as a cloud might sing. Go!" So, while you walked up and down and wondered if it would rain, Winnie the Pooh sang this song. "How sweet to be a cloud floating in the blue. Every little cloud always sings aloud. How sweet to be a cloud floating in the blue. It makes him very proud to be a little cloud." Okay, so there is Christopher walking back with his little umbrella. And then there's Winnie again with his balloon and the buzzy bees. Okay. The bees were still buzzing as suspiciously as ever. Some of them indeed left their nest and flew all round the cloud. As it began the second verse of this song, and one bee sat down on the nose of the cloud for a moment and then got up again. "Christopher, ow, Robin," called out the cloud. "Yes, I have just been thinking, and I have come to a very important decision. These are the wrong sort of bees." "Are they?" "Quite the wrong sort. I should think they would make the wrong sort of honey, shouldn't you?" "Would they?" "Yes, so I think I shall come down." "How?" asked you. Winnie the Pooh hadn't thought about this. If he let go of the string, he would fall, bump, and then he didn't like the idea of that. So he thought for a long time, and then he said, "Christopher Robin, you must shoot the balloon with your gun. Have you got your gun?" "Of course I have," you said. "But if I do that, it will spoil the balloon," you said. "But if you don't," said Pooh, "I shall have to let go, and that would spoil me." When you put it like this, you saw how it was, and you aimed very carefully at the balloon and fired. "Ow," said Pooh. "Did I miss?" you asked. "You didn't exactly miss," said Pooh, "but you missed the balloon." "I'm so sorry," you said, and you fired again, and this time you hit the balloon, and the air came slowly out, and Winnie the Pooh floated down to the ground. to see, and then also just other generic ASMR videos that you would like to see on the channel as well. And on that note, I hope you guys have a wonderful